If you've been waiting to upgrade your streaming setup, this might be the moment you've been hoping for. Because Apple is preparing something big for its next generation Apple TV 4K, something that's not just about performance, but also about price, features, and how Apple plans to approach the streaming world in 2025 and beyond. Welcome to Tech Vibe, where we break down the latest tech news with clarity, facts, and zero fluff. And today's report on the upcoming Apple TV 4K is one you'll want to watch all the way through, because the changes Apple is working on are surprisingly bold. So let's start with the biggest shocker. Apple is planning a major price drop for the next Apple TV 4K. Yes, you heard that right. A company known for premium pricing is preparing to push its streaming box into a far more competitive range. Multiple supply chain leaks and analyst reports suggest the next Apple TV 4K could finally drop below the $100 mark, potentially landing somewhere between $79 and $99 depending on storage. And if this happens, it would be Apple's lowest price for a streaming device in years, positioning it directly against Roku Ultra, Chromecast 4K, and Amazon Fire TV Q. The reason behind this price shift? Apple wants more households in the US, Canada, and Europe using Apple services. By lowering the price of the hardware, Apple can bring more people into its ecosystem, where services like Apple TV Plus, Apple Arcade, Fitness Plus, and iCloud generate long-term revenue. It's a strategy we've already seen with the HomePod Mini, affordable hardware, premium ecosystem loyalty. And according to recent insider information, the upcoming Apple TV 4K follows the same logic. But price is just the start. The biggest internal upgrade comes from a new A16 or A17-based chip, depending on which configuration Apple finalizes. Either way, we're talking about a major performance leap, faster animations, quicker app load times, smoother navigation, and significantly better gaming performance with Apple Arcade. The current A15 chip is already powerful, but this next generation will push the device far ahead of other streaming box competitors that still rely on mid-range mobile processors. This boost in performance is especially important as Apple continues its quiet push toward the living room gaming market. Developers have been testing higher-end Apple Arcade titles on upgraded silicon, and according to reports from insiders, some new games are being optimized specifically for the next Apple TV model. Whether Apple plans to position it as a mini console is unclear, but the hardware seems to be heading in that direction. Design-wise, don't expect a dramatic visual change. Apple is sticking with its compact, minimalist look. But the remote? That's where we might see something new. Rumors point toward a revised Siri remote with more reliable Bluetooth communication, improved haptic response, and possibly even a UWB chip for precision finding, meaning if your remote disappears into the couch's black hole, your iPhone could help you locate it instantly. This is one of the most requested features for Apple TV users, and Apple appears to be listening. Now, let's talk about streaming, because Apple isn't just updating hardware. It's preparing for the future of content. The next Apple TV 4K is expected to support enhanced HDR formats, possibly including an updated version of Dolby Vision with better dynamic metadata handling. Audio is also getting a boost with improved spatial audio capabilities when paired with AirPods or compatible HomePods. And yes, Apple is continuing to push deeper integration with Apple TV Plus, especially with the platform's growing lineup of sports streaming deals. Another major upgrade on the software side is expected to be tvOS improvements that focus on personalization. Imagine more precise content recommendations based on your mood, viewing patterns, and time of day. Apple is reportedly working on machine learning upgrades that make the Apple TV feel less like an app launcher and more like a truly smart entertainment hub. Now, what about the release timeline? Several reliable analysts agree we should expect the next Apple TV 4K in late 2025, with a possible announcement alongside or shortly after the new iPhone lineup. Apple typically avoids spring launches for Apple TV hardware, so fall remains the most realistic window. Mass production is expected to begin mid-2025, which aligns perfectly with that timeline. There's Al. So talk of Apple experimenting with an entry-level streaming stick, but that isn't confirmed. What we can say with confidence is that the next Apple TV 4K is already deep in development, and Apple is preparing for a much stronger presence in the streaming market. With competition heating up and consumers demanding better value, this price drop is not just surprising, it's strategic. Before we wrap up, let's summarize the biggest upgrades you can expect: a potential sub-$100 launch price, a faster A16 or A17 chip, a revamped Siri remote with improved tracking, enhanced HDR and audio features, deeper Apple TV Plus integration, better gaming support, and smarter tvOS personalizations. It's a significant step forward, and for those in premium markets like the US, Canada, the UK, Australia, and Europe, this upgrade is likely to become one of the most compelling streaming options available next year. And now comes the most important question: should you wait for it? If you already have the latest Apple TV 4K, the upgrade may come down to how much you value the faster chip and improved remote. But if you're using an older model, or if you've been considering switching from Roku or Fire TV, the 2025 Apple TV 4K might be the perfect time to join the ecosystem. Thanks for watching Tech Vibe. If you enjoy getting the most accurate, no-nonsense breakdowns of upcoming tech, make sure to stay connected because we're just getting started. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.